Imagine a world where every conversation feels like a genuine connection, a place where you and I truly feel like we belong, and where everyone has a seat at the table. Hey friends, welcome to Armchair Authentic.
So, Rhett, I have some good news that might be encouraging to those who are listening.
Is this a good news, bad news situation where I get to choose which one I want to hear first?
No, it's just good news.
Yay, I like good news. Da, 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 da. We need some good music. We need some good news music.
Good news music. Let's add that.
Ain't nothing but good news. Hey. All right, there's your music.
The AI jingle from Rhett.
No, whatever.
Okay, so a study. I like reading these studies. A study from Stanford University's linguistics department found that people who frequently use filler words in everyday conversation, such as like, you know, I mean, and
basically any conversation they have with me. Yeah.
They often rank higher in empathy and social awareness. That's good news for people, because I think we've been coached our whole life. Stop saying
Yeah.
Don't go like when.
So all the things you used to edit out of our podcast when we first started this thing, and I was like, bro, keep it in there.
You were right, because I was getting rid of our empathy and social awareness.
3 words I never hear. You were right.
Say it again.
You were right.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay.
Well, you were saying, yes, I'm reflecting back. Okay, I'm being gaslit right now.
Exactly.
Hey, no, seriously, can we talk about that for a minute? Yeah. You and I were talking about something the other day, and I was asking you, like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, because you like the word gaslighting.
Let's reignite. Can we reenact this? Yes, thank you for helping me with the words.
Because I was talking about something, and I was like, the tough thing is people are this, they're that, they can get gaslit, they can get this.
And I heard the buzzword, gaslit. Now, I've looked it up, and I understand what manipulation means. I understand what coercion means. But gaslit, to me, seems to be a buzzword that some people use in sentences, and it's like, it doesn't make sense to me, per se, how they're using it. Yeah. It's almost like, cool, man, that's cool. Well, does it mean it's cold, or does that mean it's awesome, right? And so I think some people are using it in ways it was never meant to be used. Yeah. And so I simply asked you, I said, bro, help me understand this. And so we're going to reenact it on 3, 2, 1, action. So Justin, help me understand, like, how would you explain gaslit?
Okay, ask me that question one more time.
Okay, what is gaslighting?
Hey, take it easy, man.
What do you mean, man?
Take it down a notch.
I'm just asking a question. What does it mean?
Whoa. Seriously, Rhett, like, why are you getting defensive?
I'm not getting defensive. I'm seriously.
Easy, man.
I don't understand.
Just ask a normal question.
What does it mean to be? All I'm asking, Justin, is what does it mean to be gaslit?
And then I stopped and I looked at Rhett and I said, "That's it."
Yes. And my response was, and you were really getting me going from it. I was like, "Dude, no, seriously, what?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah."
And that was, it was a great way to kind of define that term for you. And that was fun for me, because when I saw your eyes open up, like, you got it. You were like, see, I said like, by the way. Hey, empathy. I'm very empathy and social aware. Yeah. I'm showing a lot of empathy, and I'm very social aware, evidently, because I said like. Yeah. But yeah, in those moments, like last week when it hit you, I thought that was really cool. Like it kind of clicked in a different way.
Yeah, and I appreciate what your wife said the other day when we were at your house hanging out, and you were kind of telling this story, and she was like, "I'm really proud of you, Rhett." I was like, "Thank you, Miss Summer." Dr. Summer says she's proud of me. Yeah, that's feel so good, because she was like, most people wouldn't act like, they wouldn't ask that question. They'd like just act like, you know what you're. I'm like, no, I'm smart enough to go. I don't truly understand what it means, and so that.
Well, that was fun.
I do now.
What was cool? What I think was really. If I can use that word, like, it was a sweet moment, because you generally, out of a natural reaction, you've heard that so many times, just like I had when I first heard what it meant. Yeah. And you had this natural reaction and you said, "Oh, that's been done to me." Yeah. It was like the inner child coming out just for a minute to be like, whoa,
okay, I can name this person, and this person, where I've actually lived that conversation.
It was like a bit of that moment of like a little bit of freedom when you have a new layer, just like, whoa,
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm not messed up. I'm not weird. It's not me. It's them. And the way that they manipulated the situation to make it look like I was the problem and I'm the issue.
Yes.
When I'm like, I'm really not. Not that I don't have parts to play in it for sure.
Right.
But I'm just saying, overall, in a general sense, I'm not jacked up as much as I thought I was in some ways for how people have made me feel.
That's right.
Based off questions.
Mm-hmm. I mean, God, so many layers to get in on that.
Yeah.
And that's what was cool because you came over that night. We made some salmon. You got to hang out with the Bradshaws.
Yeah.
You were batching it that week.
I was.
Max was working.
Linda was in Vegas.
Yeah,
with her team. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It's fun when you just say Linda's in Vegas.
That sounds like a movie. Linda's in Vegas. Okay. What is the plot? What is the theme? What's the story?
Yeah.
She was there on business with Highlands College and a bunch of their employees for
not accreditation, but just
something.
The system
I don't know.
Use.
Whatever the internal workings are of an organization called a college.
Many universities use it.
Yes, they were learning how to use it.
Learn it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she like the moment she got off the plane, and we've been in and through the airport a bunch for sure. I've been there twice, and that was really her first time to experience like going to a hotel, staying on the strip, and all the stuff that entails. And she was like, "I'm ready to come home."
Yeah, Go get the conference and head on back. Enjoy some good food if you can.
Oh yeah, not my story to tell, but I will tell it. So they took a taxi from the airport to the hotel. They were going to Uber, but somebody on the team decided, hey, let's just take a taxi. It's right here. We don't have to walk another 100 feet to the Uber station. Let's just jump in here. So they did. They got, I didn't know taxis were still a thing, honestly.
Yeah.
So she said it was like the guy was driving like a bat out of hell, things you would see like with guys driving to Mexico, speeding, cutting off and all this stuff. And it was like a van taxi. So they get to the hotel. They're all starting to get out. And he said, okay, that'll be however much in cash. And Linda's like, we're not paying you in cash. Well, that's all we take. And he was like, well, thanks for the free ride. She was like, thanks for the free ride then. Because all we have a card. But what he was trying to do, he was trying to play these tourists. Mm-hmm. And he was trying to get a free ride and pocket the cash.
Yeah.
That's what he was trying to do.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, hey, thanks for the free ride.
For real.
And then he was like, and then he literally pulled up off the corner, the tap thing for the card or whatever.
Oh, sneaky.
Oh, yeah. So just if you're ever in Vegas or New York City and you happen to be taking an old school taxi and they say it's cash only, just know that's straight up lie.
Yeah, that's right.
Who carries cash anymore,
Yeah.
Which
what
is
were
a
they
whole
going to
other
do?
story.
Pack y'all back in the car and take you back where you came
they're
from?
like, thanks for the free ride. They're all out getting their suitcases and everything. And they ended up paying with a card. But all that to say, just don't fall for it. Yeah, it was kind of like it didn't start well, already feeling like you're trying to get manipulated.
Yes.
But I was proud of her. Hey, thanks for the free ride.
But she's very strong in that sense. Like she'll take a stand on something.
Yeah. And, all that to say, they had a good time. Everything was great. But I'm so glad that she's home. And I think she realized a lot about herself. She's like, I just like to stay at home, read a book, be around my people, and I'm good.
That's her deal. You got to know your deal, and there's nothing wrong with your deal.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it was fun that night though, because you were, as I said, batching it. So you got to come hang out at our house. And
I did.
You are very people.
Yeah, I am.
And so you'll have your time. You can chill at the house alone. You've probably done that many times, but you were, when I said, hey, why don't you come over? Summer's like, man, tell Rhett to come over, have some salmon with us.
Now, I did not, to reference another conversation I think we have with Micah, where I was saying, I'm not, kind of hungry.
It was.
I wasn't using that. I was like, I'm going to be, I was literally going, I'm going to be at home by myself. Max is at work, Chick-fil-A or whatever it was. And I'm just going to be chilling. And you were like,
you did. You were like, I'm about to go grab a bite to eat somewhere.
I was not dropping hints to be invited to come to your house.
You were not.
That's the last thing I was thinking.
I agree.
Okay.
And then
I even told Summer that.
And you did.
I was like,
and I got off the phone and I said, oh man, Rhett, he's chilling tonight. She's like, oh, really? I said, yeah, Linda's out. Max is out. He's about to go get a bite. She's like, well, tell him to come over here. We're making salmon.
Yeah. And then you called me like,
sure?
Yeah.
She was like, yeah. I was like, all right.
Yeah, but just to be clear, I even told her, I said, hey, I hope y'all didn't think that I was dropping hints to get invited to Bradshaw's to hang out and eat some salmon. But I was like, you had me at salmon.
Yeah, exactly.
If it would have been chicken nuggets, I'd have been like, I'm good. I'll come hang out.
So what was the experience like for you at the Bradshaw table?
The Bradshaw table.
It's a packed table.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's good.
It's 6 of us, but on that night it was 7 with you.
It's a lot more lively than a table of 3. Because Linda and Max and I, It's pretty chill, man.
Yeah.
Because you have to match personalities too. Max is kind of pretty super chill, you know? And so, yeah. So we had a good
And
time.
Linda's chill.
Linda's chill, yeah.
And
I'm the one that can bring the party. Usually it's both of them looking at me going, oh, and I'm like, aren't you glad that you got me as your father? I'm bringing the party, you know?
Malcolm Merriweather.
I know, Malcolm.
Aren't you kind?
Andy Griffith, let's go.
Not a lot of people know that. I'll still sing your brother-in-law, Jay Lee.
Yeah.
I'll send him a text. He's a friend of mine. And he's the only one in my circle who knew Aren't You Kind by Malcolm Merriweather. And so I'll just send him a text sometimes that says, Aren't you?
Yeah. They're you know, under a 2025 context of culture and how much things have changed since, was that recorded in the 50s, 60s, somewhere in there? There are some things that are sensitive to that show that I'm like, okay, he has a little masculine there, you know, a little slam on some women and stuff. But, you know, but overall, the principles of trying to bring parenting and good morals and the Opie and the Andy and the fathering and the learning life lessons. And, you know, it was, man, wow, it was such a great show. Growing up as a kid, I loved it. My dad always had it on, you know, we were watching it, but like, I think we've watched every episode at least 5-10 times.
Yeah. Well, and you were saying that about the times, recognizing the times. That's the thing about mob mentality you got to watch out for. Yeah. If you're going to take a stand on something and say that something isn't right, and you judge somebody based on them operating, or you're seeing a previous operation of 20, 30 years ago, but you're accusing them on modern day thoughts, you still have to, I think, have this. You have to widen your approach on this to see. So use Andy Griffith. He's easy to say because no one really picks on him. It'd be like saying, let's say it became, you know, let's say locking up the drunk guy who put himself in jail became a thing all of a sudden. It's like, you would never do that. So obviously I'm being silly now. Would we now, if Andy Griffith was alive, do we now judge him and cancel him? Right. Because he just put Otis in that jail cell. Do you know how you could endanger somebody doing that? Yeah. It's like, well, maybe now if that becomes a new thing, we need to be aware now that, we shouldn't do that. Right. But we can't judge the 30 years past and now all of a sudden cancel him. Yeah, because 30 years ago, that was the norm. It was the norm. We got to look at the norms. Acceptable, and that would, not saying, again, according to what is happening now in our culture based off then, you can't judge. Yeah. You could look back and go, wow, we have grown a whole bunch. Yeah. Prime example, I'm watching Family Ties. Oh, yeah. So this show came out in 1982, I believe it was, if I'm getting it correct. Yeah. And then in 83, and it wasn't until that 83, 84 mark where it became getting popular. And as a kid, I don't really remember all the adult things that were happening in this show. Yeah. Because I don't think I started watching it until like 87, 88, 89. So I'm going back and I'm watching it to kind of reminisce to watch because I'm like, this is pretty cool. But when I look back at some of the culture things, I'm like, wow, there was this fight for like women's rights in it, which I agree with. Like, you know, to kind of break the mold that the woman in the home isn't just a homemaker and cook and all this. And I love it. But Alex Keaton, that part was so like ultra conservative, egotistical, very whatever you think a man. Oh, the woman's job is to be in the home and to cook and to clean. And I'm just going to go out and make all. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, you watch it now through that lens. Like, holy moly, this is messed up. What a chauvinistic pig. I know. So, but you can see the transition of the 80s and how all that was working through it. And I know it's all a show and an act or whatever, but it was speaking to the things that were actually happening in culture at that time. That's right. In the shift. And I was like, wow. And so, you know, it's fun to watch. And some of them like, ooh, that was, I can't believe they did that on TV. Like with some of the stuff they talked about and did. I'm like, oh, yeah. In the 80s, I thought it was just like this innocent thing, but it was like really like pushing the barrier on some pretty tough topics. Oh, it is. And we just got to know things will change. You know, the one thing I am thankful for, you know, just that we can kind of put all this there is I'm thankful that, yes, the sin that was committed in the garden that ultimately destroyed our world. I'm so grateful for Jesus. Yes. That he went back and forgave all that. But as humans and operating in society, I am grateful for our eyes opening up more and seeing things. But also we have to realize we see through the lens of kind of our current social structure and what we might think is normal. And we're so, our eyes have been so open and we're so enlightened. We still have to recognize that there are places that still see things in certain ways and it's as normal to them.
Yeah.
And so it's how do you weave within this and not cancel people? Because some really don't know, but how do we hop into this and weave our way into it and bring the kingdom of God into that place? Like that's ultimately what our goal is.
Well, the whole cancel culture to me is kind of like trying to annihilate history. We need to cancel this so we can forget about it. So when I'm like, no, we need to be reminded and to have these things in place so that we don't do them again.
Yeah.
If there are things that ultimately need to be corrected, right?
Yeah.
So it's like this idea of wiping out history is like the most unwise, stupid thing you could do, because you have to actually go back and look at what were the things that ended up leading to the Holocaust? What are the things that ended up leading to these world wars? What are the things that ended up leading to the insanity? Yeah. We don't want to do that again. So if we wipe it out and we cancel it and we wipe all the history books and we wipe all of that out, we're going to repeat all this crap again. Yeah, and it's like, so it's not that we're rejoicing in our history, and it's not that we're proud of that or those moments, whatever they may be, that you pick out and try to cancel. It's like, no, that needs to resonate, and we need to be able to look back and go, okay, all right, yeah, that wasn't a good call, but look how far we've come. We don't want to go there again.
I recognize the weight of what I'm saying and how people can judge a quick word. I'm over here because there is
because you're very empathetic.
I'm trying to be. I really am. Yeah. There's a lot of empathy. I'm trying to be socially aware. So it almost proves the very thing that this study is actually talking about that it can do, because I'm choosing my words. Yeah. When you bring up something like this, because you don't want to offend, you want to be careful in every word that you say. So you either talk slower. Yeah. You had some some likes, and it's like, there's a reason why all this is.
So all that to say, I can relate to that study, which took me back to a place when I was in 6th grade. I was so annoying to teachers. They made me feel as if I was less than for something that has actually become a very intriguing thing from what I'm learning and what every great leader does. And that's ask questions. Yeah. I don't know if I've mentioned this on the podcast in previous episodes, but I actually got an award, which I think was a way of kind of making fun of me and making light of me in 6th grade from a teacher in a Christian school. And it was, this reward goes out to the person that asked the most questions. Everybody started laughing. Everybody thought it was funny. Ha ha ha! Rhett Barden, come on down and get this award. Yeah. But it wasn't done in a celebratory way of like, hey, set up to the moment going. Asking questions is a great leadership thing, and some of the great leaders ask the best questions, and anything that's ever been dove into or delved into, whatever the word is, like diving into something deep to figure out how things work and why they work so that we can make things better. The question of why, and how important it is. And by the way, we want to celebrate somebody who has this quality. It wasn't set up that way at all. It was set up like, this guy's annoying. Yeah. He doesn't shut up, and all he wants to talk about is why. Yeah. Because I'm like, I didn't have that happening in my life. And I'm sitting here asking these leaders and like, well, why? I'm curious, like curiosity, man. And now I'm learning at 48 years old how like amazing that quality is. And I'm thinking I'm having to work through the trauma, thinking that was always a bad thing. Yep. And anyway, it had me going back to that thought and going, hey, sometimes these students that are in your classes, they don't necessarily fit the norm of whatever culture is. Yeah. They don't fit sitting in a chair, sitting silent, listen, this behavior modification. There are some very highly gifted, highly talented people that are, future thought-provoking leaders that are out of the box, that aren't fitting that mold, that are going to go on to do great things. Yes. That you are, you're kind of stifling their growth and making it look like a problem when it really is. It's not a problem. It's a gifting. Yeah. It's an amazing ability. Yes. So anyway, I was just thinking about that.
Yeah. No, because you got your recognition, It let you go up there to get a reward so you could be included with everybody else. But it was, and you could probably laughed it off because everybody's laughing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did.
But it really was. It was like it was the question of, or it was the award of, you have asked too many questions. Would you stop talking? So, that seed was planted.
And so along these lines, I was sitting here thinking, I came across something on Instagram that was about Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
And I don't know how accurately how accurate this is. And even the article says that some of the details may have been changed a little bit, but the overall theme actually is accurate.
Yeah.
So it says, the story is told that one day as a small child, Thomas Edison came home from school and gave a paper to his mother. He said, "Mom, my teacher gave this paper to me and told me only you were to read it. Well, what does it say?" Her eyes welled with tears as she read the letter out loud to her child. "Your son is a genius. This school is too small for him and doesn't have good enough teachers to train him. Please teach him yourself." Many years after Edison's mother had died, he became one of the greatest inventors of the century. When he was going through a closet, he found the folded letter from his old teacher. He opened it and found that the true message written on the letter, and this is what the letter actually said: "Your son is mentally deficient. We cannot let him attend our school anymore. He is expelled." Edison then wrote in his diary, Thomas A. Edison was a mentally deficient child whose mother turned him into the genius of the century. While the details of the story are likely not accurate, it is indeed documented that Edison was called addled by his teacher, who determined that he should no longer remain in school. His mother became his most enthusiastic champion, and only because of her encouragement, belief, and constant kind words did Thomas Edison become the great inventor.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, think about that. And
to back that up, I feel like I've studied that, and it's not that article. I've seen the same thing.
Yeah, and whether or not some of the details are fuzzy of how all that went out, but
there's a lot to that. There's a lot of history documenting that is what happened.
So I kid when I say the questions of why, and I'm definitely not comparing myself to Thomas Edison or somebody great. I'm not. But to say that as leaders, we're called to look at every situation and go, that might not fit the mold, but that doesn't mean that this person isn't uniquely gifted, called, talented, and have the ability to change the world.
Oh, absolutely.
Just because they don't fit the sit here, stay silent for 30 minutes, keep your head in the book, and just behave like all the rest of the kids.
Yeah, like the cultural mold that we've set up.
Yes.
If your wiring is set for that, you're probably going to thrive in our society because it is created to sit down, learn these books. We used to have this guy who would come, he would do certain meetings with us, and he used to be like a public educator.
Okay.
And he would talk about even a lot of the way the systems were set up, where it was great for like females versus these guys who just, they're constantly wanting to get out and do stuff. And it was already like a disadvantage for some of these boys because it was hard to sit still.
Yeah.
And they could get labeled as troublemakers because they had too much energy.
Right.
And so when you just, in a class, sure, do you want to have order? Sure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there are a lot of people who are discounted because they have come across, because I think about, if I were to be honest, this is authentic. That's why I wouldn't say names. I can go back from first grade and work my way up, and I can identify the students who were kind of the ones who they were a little, please.
Yeah.
Here I am. This is me being socially aware, I hope. The article I brought up, I looked at them as not as smart because they didn't fit the class mold. And I knew to equate smart classroom means good grades. And I can see those faces growing up in my class that wouldn't do as good. And now what I know is there was just not the opportunity to identify this potential and to bring them to strength.
Yeah.
So we were already catering to certain people's strengths and their mental capacities. But some of the brilliance that was in that classroom that you could have never discovered because the class wasn't set up for that.
Right.
And so, when I hear stories like that, it always moves me.
I'm moved at the fact, and I hope it's true, is the fact that whatever the school teacher in looked at Edison and said that, man, this, deficient, mentally ill, whatever the word was, right? We can't be here. He's expelled. And his mom, instead of his mom reading that and speaking that over him and painting that picture, she's like, man, you're a genius. And you need so much more than this school can offer. And so guess what? We're going to get to do this together.
Yeah.
And her pouring into him, I just think that's awesome. And protecting him in that moment from whatever the world is saying is a deficiency in his life, and her speaking to it and calling it out as this is a gift. Well, that curiosity is a gift. That ability to
the norm was that even for the mom? Because we were talking about you can't blame the past when they might not have been aware.
Right.
So to back up our own talk, we wouldn't want to now talk about that teacher on the way she thought then and scold her now. Like, oh man, let's cancel her. Yeah. Well, no, that probably back in those days, I mean, they didn't have teachers. They could call you out, call you a moron, or whatever the word that was
slap
the equivalent.
Your hand on the wrist with a ruler,
just because they're ticked at you.
Yeah.
How many people probably got slammed right over the wrist because they kind of had that wiring of like energy.
Yeah.
And the teacher took it as disrespect and just slapped the mess out of them. Yeah. That was accepted then. So for the mom to take what the teacher had said, who usually the teacher would have probably been put in such high regard, most parents would have probably almost felt like, well, that's just the way that it is. He is deficient mentally to learn in this way. And almost that mentality of my poor child.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not going to be able to achieve it. And for her to actually think, once again, we hope the story's true, right?
Yeah.
But for her to have the thought and say, it said you're a genius. They can't teach you. So we're going to have to find a way to do it. Like that's such an outside the box thinking now, but especially then, because now we have freedom. Yeah. We have freedom. If you have that ability with your child, you can really help them find their strengths and supplement and resource and give ways to help them hit new levels you couldn't in those days.
So, speaking of this personally, with our son Max, he's been in just about every environment you could possibly imagine. I think we did the counts of how many different type of schools he's been in. I think it was 6 or 7, which is nuts. As a kid who's going into his senior year, but he's done public school, he's done private school, he's done homeschool, not in this particular order, but in a little bit of all three, and in every season, he's needed something a little bit different.
Yeah.
And we try to be sensitive to that. And so I don't know, it's turned out pretty good for us. Instead of going, nope, you got to fit this mold, fit this system, and blah, 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 whatever it might be. Instead of forcing, oh, we're only going to be homeschool, or we're only going to be public school, or we're only going to be private school, right? It's more like, hey, what does this next season look like? Yeah. What does that look like for us? Yeah. And so for our senior year, this year, like we were talking through it, and this has been like a 6, 7, 8 month thing from January. Like it's been prayer, it's been conversation, it's been pros, it's been cons, it's been all this stuff. And so he has chosen to finish his senior year as a virtual school through the county that we live in. And he'll still be able to play the sports at the high school, still be able to be on the tennis team and all the different things that he wants to be a part of, because he's still in the same type of, county and school district. He's just going to be able to go about his learning in a different way.
That's so cool.
And it's really cool, and he's really good at it. And so he'll be at home doing, it's not homeschool, but it's the county, teaching. But he'll go every once in a while to a classroom environment with other people that are doing this virtual schooling. And the good thing is he's not going to have to take a lot of fluff. He can just take the things he needs and get it, and then go to work and do what he needs to do and have his life. And so really cool. He's getting to learn what it's like to be, an adult, college-ish, if you will. It's not a go at your own pace. It's not that. It's you've got these assignments and you're responsible for doing it, and you've got to get them done. And so that's kind of cool. Of course, 2020 was a virtual thing, a little bit, but this is, so this is kind of a new season. It's not homeschool, it's not private school, it's somewhat public and virtual. It's interesting. Yeah.
It's kind of a mix of everything.
Yeah. And so
2020 was it
really opened up a whole new world
for us.
Way to do things.
If you would have ever asked me about a homeschool type environment, we just would have said we don't have the grace for it.
Oh, I definitely don't have the grace to teach it.
And it was like when 2020 happened, though. I mean, everybody all of a sudden we can come together and relate because everybody became homeschool teachers, and my goodness, it's like, I mean, if you're doing public school, private school, it doesn't matter. If you weren't doing homeschool, you were ready to get them back.
Yeah,
like thank you, Lord, for opening back up the world. But through that, though, once we got back to normal, whatever that is, with us, it's been that same kind of exploration. You know, we'll do, thankfully, we're able to do this private school that we love.
Yeah.
I loved my experience at Parkway growing up. I just thought, I thought it was the best place. And I had the privilege to do that from K through 12. I mean, it was amazing. But different kids have had different things. So it's like with
every child's different.
Dax and Kai, Britt and Ben, they've really all kind of come up under this private Christian school that we've done. And if people ask, what's your retirement look like right now? I'm like, it's going into, it's gone into all this, but that is, they are going to become millionaires and pay it back to me in summer.
The rest of your life.
That's the goal. No.
Well, out of 4 kids, you're like, okay, one's surely going to take.
Maybe I got a little Edison. One of them, they're going to take care of mom and dad.
Yeah.
But no, but the 2 oldest, when they finished that, because it only went up to a certain grade, we were ready to do public, private. We didn't know.
Yeah.
And then because of 2020, we just had this grace of, let's try this. So it's like our oldest 2 are doing this co-op. They kind of select their schedule. It's homeschool / you go in.
Yeah.
Really cool place that someone had told me about. But then it's like our younger 2, they'll do this private school. But then one year, we launched a brand new school. I mean, just some of the parents came together and said, let's start a school. And took some of the former teachers of a school that no longer existed. And so we've just kind of been the past year, just kind of.
That's cool.
It's been so fun.
Hey, friends, if you're enjoying today's conversation, could you do us a huge favor? Would you share the link of this episode with a friend, with a coworker, with a buddy? Email it, airdrop it, text it, comment on Facebook, however you would like to share it. Man, it would mean so much to us to help us get the word out, to have more friends join us in on this journey. Thank you. All right, now back to the conversation.
2020 opened us up to, and just the grace that we can't explain, and the ability. It all is this. We're all listening, and we all have different backgrounds, and we can only do what we can do.
Right. And I think
it's been a great experience.
And all that to say, I think I am not trashing the current system. I'm not a school teacher. I'm not wired in a way to understand, the system, but so I have my thoughts.
Sure.
But I do think that this idea that one size fits all is ridiculous. First of all,
I do too.
If I look at a hat and it says one size fits all, I laugh because it does not fit my head.
You're like, you see my head?
I mean, my head, and I say that to people that don't know. It fits my body fine, but like I'm an MLB baseball player size head. I mean, I've got to have the fitted hats that are like, larger than one size fits all. So this idea that this one size fits all for classroom environments is ridiculous. And I feel for teachers to be in this environment, to have a plethora. There's the word. All right. This variable of all these different kids in one environment of up to 30 or 40 kids in these. It's like, you can't teach that many kids. It's a number at this point. You're just managing chaos.
Yeah.
Really what you're doing.
You're just keeping up with the productivity.
Right. And so I feel for them for the challenge that they have. And I'm so thankful for them, and they're doing the best that they can. And I think most teachers recognize that too. And they're trying their best. But in a perfect world, every kid is looked at as, like, in my mind, it's like, what's the development process for this child?
Yeah.
What does this child need? How do they need to grow? How do they need to get better? What do they need in this season? How much attention do they need? Because some need more attention, some don't. And that's the downside of this large classroom environment in a public school. And so all that to say, we've needed different things in different seasons, and I'm grateful that we've been able to walk that road. But the one thing that I thought was a con, and I even talked this out loud with Max for him going to this virtual thing, was trying to not live vicariously through my kid as a senior, to go, well, you're going to miss out on the proms and the homecoming football games and the idea to be able to walk in the senior class with all this stuff. And he does get to walk. It's going to be different, with the virtual prep school or whatever it's called that he's going to be doing. And it's just going to look different. And we talked through all those things. And I'm like, we have the perspective because we've had those experiences of having that senior year, kind of with your class and whatever, even in the stupid and whatever. And so we were talking through it but that we don't want you to make your decision based off of us trying to get you to relive an experience we had. Right.
Yeah.
But we do want you to understand there are some things that you're going to miss out on that you're not even aware of.
Yeah.
But you're also going to be gaining things that we didn't have either. And your perspective is going to be different. And that's okay too.
Because you can't have it all.
You can't have it all.
You've got to choose.
Yeah.
Choice is important. And he's learning choices
He's learning choices, but we're really, like I said, this is a 6-7 month decision and a lot of conversations and prayer. And ultimately it was like, I really feel led to do this. And we were trying to get to the core root of why. Yeah. And it was ultimately, I just feel like I will be able to thrive better in this environment. We're like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, it's like if you're running in fear, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if it's a whole different mindset, which he has.
Exactly.
And you guys are looking at it, you're giving the time to explore instead of the natural reaction is, well, this is how it's done. This is how you got to do it.
Exactly.
And there's something that you guys are tapping into. And I think that's really cool. And it gets back to when you were talking about teaching. Every one of you listening can think about that teacher that just stood out to you because the environment you just described, Rhett, is so true. It's too many to really teach, especially with different personalities. And I'll give a shout out to Mr. Qualls.
Oh, I love Mr. Qualls.
We love Mr. Qualls because he somehow had this way, and it took a lot of his time, and I'm sure way beneath what he could have got paid if he went and got a second job somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But he knew the different students. And the people who would kind of, they would just show out during class and just start yapping. Yeah. He had this grace where he could just kind of calm you down, make some funny little sarcastic comment, but then say, if you need help after class, I want to talk to you after class. And he would give you this extra time. And I don't think the brother, I don't even want to call him the brother. I have such respect for him. Oh, yeah. But I don't think the guy had much time that he left and made it to the house. I mean, it's like he was leaving.
Well, he lived like an hour away.
Yeah, he
like
did.
Aniana, and he's teaching in the Birmingham area.
So school gets out at 3. He's probably leaving at 6.
Can I give a shout out to this? So, Mr. Qualls, you probably don't listen. If you do, man, huge shout out to you. We love you. I'll never forget, and I'm going to say this. So, my buddy Brian Aiken, right, who is now a pilot of all pilots, and he flies for some, not just an air. He doesn't fly for airlines. He's too good for that. No, I'm kidding. No offense to those who fly for airlines, but there's a whole nother world of billionaires that are out there who have their pilot in their private jets, plural. Brian is a part of that. He's worked himself up to that. So he was a senior. I'm a senior. We're taking our junior. I don't remember what it was, but we're taking French class. And that was the only foreign language that our high school had because Mr. Qualls spoke French, taught French, went to Europe, all this stuff. So he's teaching French class. Yeah. And so I'm excelling in French for some reason. Like, I don't even have to take the book home. Like, I come back, I'm like, boom, I loved it. This is fun. Like, to me, it's creative. It's opening this creative box. And I don't know. And
if y'all can imagine this ham Rhett that y'all hears the golden voice over the airwaves.
Whatever.
I mean, that was you in French. You're like, ooh, je m'appelle Ray.
Bonjour. Yeah,
bonjour.
I don't remember.
All the way into the accent.
Yeah. Oh, I was loving it. This is like acting class 101 for me. Yeah.
You want some chicken, huh?
Yeah.
De poulet.
Oh, I'm the guy that goes into the Mexican restaurant. I'm like, gracias. Hey, amigo. Yeah, like, burrito, enchilada, mofti, por favor. And Linda's looking at me like, what are you doing? Why are you talking? I'm like, I'm just trying to connect. She's like, stop. Max is looking at me like, Dad, you don't talk like that, Hey, this is a great segue. Somebody's calling us right now, man. I think this is, dude, Justin, we're getting a call from our buddy Grey Yeager. I know we're in the middle of a conversation, but everybody has a seat at the table here. That one. So, Grey, dude, thanks for giving us a call here at Armchair Authentic, man. What is going on, dude?
Man, I'm so excited to talk to two of my favorite people in the world.
Oh man, we're so glad. Thank you. I mean, for everybody listening, you've heard us talk about this, and then last week you heard Micah, who we had talked about, call in at some point. We would love to add you to our convo. We did the same with Gray. He knew that this is the time that we'd be on, and we appreciate you actually calling. I mean, we were in the middle of a great convo, and Rhett just saw your name pop up. So appreciate you, buddy, so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So Gray, to give some context, is actually an incredible dude.
Yep.
Some might even use the word phenomenal. For those who listen to the past episodes, all our friends just seem to fall in the phenomenal range.
That's right.
And Gray and Justin and I, we met you, or at least I can speak for me.
Both of us.
2 years ago?
It was the same time.
Was it 2 years ago, Gray? You walked into the Starbucks at our coffee after lunch small group, and that's where we met you and just started hanging out and doing some life with each other.
That's right. Your small group changed my life. I was going through a really dark period of my life, and I'm in my mid-50s, and I was going through a career change, and I was struggling with a number of things. And you guys, poured into me as well as the group did, and it honestly changed my life.
Man, that's amazing. Great. You've just been such a great friend to us, getting to know you, and we share a lot of stories about small group during our podcast, but I think what makes it special is it is a small group because we do that. We all attend the same local church at Church of the Highlands, but I think we kind of keep a little underground because we just keep it going.
Yeah.
We have an entry point every semester that we call them like our semester-based small groups, but with Gray, I mean, we just kind of kept gathering for coffee, didn't we? And because of that, we've developed such a great friendship and so great. Thank you for what you just said there. But my goodness, you're such a great friend to me as well.
Yeah, and Gray, I would add, huge honor to have such words spoken, and humbly, I would say, obviously, God is doing that work. Because if I could just be truthful, if I'm just speaking to you as a friend, I just feel like we were just there having normal conversations around the table with coffee and laughter and just good times and just talking through whatever life stuff. Yep. And I don't ever feel like I was sitting at the table trying to help somebody change their life as much as I was just wanting to be a friend with people. And you were obviously somebody that we were able to just connect with on a friend level and build that relationship. And it's amazing how just sitting down over coffee and laughing about nonsense and movies and music and then end up in parenting conversations, as well as, what it's like to be a husband and try to do this thing God's way, and just, lighthearted conversations over time. 2 years in, to hear you say something like that is very humbling and a huge honor. And it means a lot to me personally. So thank you. And I would even add, Gray, you've been a part of helping our lives change too. Because, honestly, I didn't know what wealth management was until I met you. And so
yeah, that's his thing, man.
You've helped me reprioritize some things in my life to think through a bigger lens and a bigger picture of the marathon we're running with our finances and how to help set things up for legacy in the future.
Well, I think our stories are intertwined a little bit too, because I grew up in the side of town you guys did. And so when you tell your stories and hear some of your friends tell their stories and they reference places around that side of town, it just brings me back to that time in my life. And I can see Costa's Barbecue in my mind so clear right now.
Oh, let's go.
I can see Twin Gates East Apartments.
Wow.
And I lived that life in my early years, and it really not only being connected with you as an adult and going through this walk with you in this season of my life, but also thinking about my life in those times. I was a Christian during that time period of my life, but I wasn't very Christ-like. And as I've been walking this walk as an adult, and specifically now with you guys by my side and kind of mentoring me and steering me in the right direction, pouring into me, it just has made all the difference in the world. I think I said this on our little text group the other day. Not only do we pour coffee, but we pour into each other.
Yeah, that was so good.
I believe that in my heart, and I really am thankful for you guys.
Yeah, I love our text threads that we have. We've talked about it before, but we have a group text thread that we call it the alumni of the afternoon espresso.
Yeah.
And basically it's those who have attended the small group, but we kind of want to keep the relationship going even if they go to a different group one day. And so we keep that, but then we also just naturally, and Greg, you've been one of them, we kind of have like our little text thread with us three. And so what I love is you'll finally listen to an episode and then you'll send some kind of quote. And so I appreciate it. It was, I guess, a couple of weeks ago, Gray sends us a text that says, "Hey guys, you're phenomenal." And it's just like, I love that, it's fun because we're just having fun.
Yeah.
But it means everything to me. That's the life of relationship and friendship. And it's like, I'm here for it. Yeah. I mean, that is what I live for. And those little texts, just, I think we'd probably all say it, but they just kind of brighten your day. And they just kind of get you locked in what you're doing about your day. And you just got a little encouragement to keep going.
Hey friends, Rhett here. Just want to take a moment to speak to those who may be joining us for the first time. We want to say welcome, friends. However you found us, we are so glad that you did, and we believe it wasn't by accident. We're so glad that you joined us in on this conversation today. In fact, if you haven't already done so, could we encourage you to follow us on social media? You can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Armchair Authentic, or over on X at Armchair Auth Pod. That's Armchair Auth, AUTHPOD. All right. Thanks for taking the time to do that. Now let's get back to our conversation.
I don't think there's a testimony without a test, and you guys really help create more of a testimony for me. And I really have enjoyed that side of getting to be more of a Christian and increasing my knowledge in the Word. And I think I told you guys originally when we first started in the group, you guys will quote scripture, and like I feel like Joey from Friends. Like I don't really know some of the scripture you're talking about, but it's really gotten me to be curious about the Word and really dive in and have a daily devotional and learn. And that's an insatiable appetite I have right now. And not only with you guys, but with Mark Clement and Woody and all these other guys that are in that group are, in their own little way, they give something that nourishes my soul. And I can't thank them enough. And you guys.
Well, man, I think the same, man. I'm just so with you, Gray. I feel the same way with you guys, because we'll spend our time together. And me and Rhett, before you called, we were talking about just different wirings of personality. And I feel like we all need that in our relationships. And none of us are really alike. If you think about it in that group.
Yeah, we're pretty diverse.
We are, but we really get along great. And that's almost like more of the story because, Gray, I get so encouraged by you because you just have there's a kindness about you. I always feel welcome when I walk into the small group, even if you're the first one there.
Usually is the first one.
Usually is, yeah. He's, which is no shocker. I mean, he's the financial steward. He's got his life organized. But I learn a lot from you. But you're right. I mean, then I see a Mark, I see Woody, I see different people, and everybody just has these different facets about their life, and that is the whole iron sharpening iron.
Yeah, we're a ragtag bunch of,
we really are.
We're like the 12, I'm not comparing ourselves to the disciples, but, if you think about the ragtag group of guys that Jesus chose, we kind of have that, and kind of going for us.
We are. It's just such an interesting group of guys, and
it's fun.
But I can't wait. Like, if you're listening to this recording now, it's, getting close. It's actually August.
Yeah.
And we are getting so close to, we're launching our small group again. But of course, we're going to be getting together a couple of times before that launches because that's just what we do because we're friends. But yeah, man. So Gray, thanks for saying that. But I feel the same way. I learned from you.
Well, like I said, you guys have been an inspiration for me. And, listen, nobody's perfect. And I think we all face challenges. And what I love about the podcast is y'all talk about yourselves as imperfect humans and your walk and the things you're struggling with on a day-to-day basis. And I think anybody, or really anybody specifically like me in my age, can relate to those things. And then how you tie it back to the word and how you continue to think about your walk going forward. A lot of times when we talk to clients, the buzzword in my business is annual review. Mm. So if we think about that in our own life, that's more backward looking. Mm. So I changed that to strategy meeting, which is more forward looking. So how do we think about our walk going forward? How do we think about acknowledging our shortcomings and moving beyond those and really bringing the Lord into our lives more so to make up for those shortcomings? And then how can we be better people in the future? Mm. How can we change somebody's life today? And that's really what I try to do on a daily basis, where it's just a little bit of inspirational word where I text you guys and say, hey, you guys are phenomenal or awesome, or I really enjoyed the podcast. But I try to do that with no real response. I'm not looking for self-gratification. I'm looking more into how I can help somebody be a better person.
Man, that's so well said.
And if people wonder why we love Greg,
yeah,
the bombs that you have dropped, the truth bombs and the wisdom bombs. I'm over here doing like the mic drop moment. Like, come on, Greg, let's go.
So true.
And I'm so grateful you took the time to give us a call. But at any point, we need to get this guy in the actual studio and talk some of these leadership things.
Greg, we'll be. We're going to be giving you some of these time stamps to know when we're recording, because we got to get you more at the whether it's the physical or the virtual table. You just dropped 2 bombs on us and it was amazing.
Yeah,
but just seriously, not to try to overfloat you here either, but it's the friendship side that I think we're most grateful for. But I do appreciate, we know your schedule is very busy, but just to kind of drop us a line when we're having a great convo, and you just made it better, buddy.
So where are you going to lunch today, Greg?
Well, I'm eating in the office today, and I will tell you this. Just before I walked out here, I walked outside. Just before I walked out here, my assistant came into my office to tell me she's got a spot on her breast, and they're going to do a biopsy. And we said a prayer in my office in order for God to have healing hands on her.
Yes.
That was right before I just called you.
Man. Goodness.
Would you have ever done that 2 years ago?
Never.
Wow. Man, I'm proud of you, bro. Way to be Jesus in the moment to somebody, connecting them to the bigger perspective of God and his love for them.
Had this been a couple of years ago, I probably wouldn't have been on the bus. But now that I'm on the bus, how can I move from the back of the bus to the front of the bus and be a first team player? Mark Clement and I talk about that all the time. How can we be a first team player and not just sitting in the stands cheering on others? So, I don't know that I would have said that prayer in the office. I wouldn't have, honestly.
Yeah.
But I think you guys and your example and way you pour into me gives me confidence to be able to do that and feel comfort in comforting other people and sharing the word. Like I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
It's not something that I just sit on the back row and cheer from afar.
Yeah. Well, I think that we're encouraged, everybody that's listening. It's just a reminder to all of us that your life is your ministry. No matter
Amen.
What you're doing, you're staying. You got to stay in and out of season. You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
And that is being Jesus to people. That's being the hands and feet of Christ. When we walk into a place, I was at Starbucks this morning, Gray, I know it's a big shocker, getting my coffee before we recorded. And the lady who was, doing the transaction, and she hands me my coffee. And it was just a reminder. She was like, have a great day. But, sometimes you're robotic saying that because you're trained to say, it's like my pleasure, at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And I just kind of looked into her eyes, and it was just, I wasn't trying to. I hope it doesn't sound creepy.
Yeah.
But she just hands me the coffee and she said, have a great day. And I just looked at her like a sister of mine. And I said, hey, you have a great day too. And we just kind of stared.
Yeah.
And you can just notice there's
humanity.
a shift in their eyes when they realize like, oh, we really just made a connection.
Yeah.
And so I get, I'm already in my car in the drive-thru, so I'm pulling off, and I just thought, there's power.
Mm-hmm.
There's power in genuine, authentic connection, and it doesn't have to be some grandstanding you're doing to get attention. It's usually the stuff nobody sees.
Yeah.
It's when someone just found out something like this lady did that you were with, Gray, and you were able to pray for her. And at Starbucks, it was that lady who, just for a minute, she felt seen.
Yeah.
I don't know her story, and I don't know her story if she needed to feel seen or not. I just know there was human connection.
Yeah.
And it was real.
Yeah.
And if we can just set our day to realize whether you're in true church ministry, if you're in business world, whatever it is, that doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Your life is ministry. It's all about the kingdom of God.
Yeah.
Everything that we do. And that inspires me hearing you say that, Gray, because it's just that reminder to me, like everywhere we are, let's be there.
Yeah.
Like let's be present in that moment and make the impact that we can.
Yeah.
That's all we're asked to do in that moment, is to steward that one moment we've been given.
Hey, Greg, I know you've got... Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't interrupt you. Go ahead.
Well, I've heard you guys say this, Rhett, specifically you, that the Lord whispers in your ear, and you just have to pay attention. And so little micro moments like that, Justin, are the Lord whispering in people's ear. And if you're paying attention, it really is, and you add all those things up, it really magnifies his word, and it really shows how impactful the kingdom can be. But you just have to be listening.
Yeah. No amount of money in the world in a bank account will ever replace the fulfillment that comes from being able to connect with people like that, in my opinion.
That's true.
Like this is the fulfillment and joy that comes from encouraging people, loving people the way that God loves them, adding value to people, seeing them, helping them, encouraging them, whether it be praying for them in a moment. I mean, it's a blessing to them, but it's also amazing the blessing that comes back on you when you get to operate in that in real time. And so, Gray, thank you so much, bro, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to give these two guys a phone call during our podcast recording. I'm so grateful that our friends and listening audience around the world get a chance to actually hear your voice, hear a little bit of your testimony. This, I hope, won't be the last time we hear from you, but thank you so much for giving us a call. It's been a true pleasure and an honor to have you on a little bit of our conversation today, bro. So thank you.
Thank you, guys. You are phenomenal.
Hey, buddy. Hey, we'll be seeing you at Starbucks really soon. We're going to get the guys together before a small group kicks off. So I look forward to hanging out with you, phenomenal human being as well.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Have a great day. See you later.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye.
I'm really excited because now this is 2 weeks straight of the seat at the table. Just the phone call coming in. They were available. I love that we put it out there. And they've taken us up on it. And I kind of love that we were in the middle of a convo. In Micah's case last week, I mean, we were just getting started and he calls in. And now we were, 40-something minutes probably into a talk, and Gray called. And that was really cool for everybody to get to hear his voice. And so, but I will say this. Why? When we started this podcast, we talked about the whole deal of saying, like. So we'll finish this off as we leave you into the next week of Armchair Authentic. But why? It's because these filler words often act as softeners or discourse markers, tools we unconsciously use to do the following: process emotions in real time. So we're like we're thinking. Show we're trying not to dominate the conversation. Another reason is avoid saying something harsh or too direct. I mean, we're reading our own podcast, and we just did all this. Invite the listener to stay engaged. Show we care how our words are being received. In other words, people who use fillers aren't always uncertain. They may just be considerate communicators, actively scanning the emotional temperature of the room. These individuals are more likely to these individuals are more likely to pause to make space rather than bulldoze forward, which actually builds connection and trust.
Yeah.
So
So
before judging someone's speech patterns, pause and consider. They might be saying because they're trying to be thoughtful, not because they're unsure. Think about that.
yeah, it's really good. And along those lines, yeah, absolutely think about that. And that's a great way to land the plane. But I have to say this.
Yep.
We do the conversations where we're getting these phone calls like from Micah and from Grey. I know you and I have talked about this, and I'm still processing this out loud. We are working at trying to find a way to where we can have a number and send this out, and you guys can call, and we can get, it's awesome to hear from friends, but it's also awesome to hear from friends who we've not had the conversation with yet.
Yeah.
And what I mean of people who are listening across the country and even around the world, to be able to call in and go, hey, I've been listening, and like, we want to hear your story. We want to, not just what the podcast means to you. That's always encouraging for sure, but really to talk to you and go, man, how can we create that friendship online through this environment in a way to where you not only feel like you're a part of it, but you are a part of it.
Yeah.
And to, much like Grey, it's like, hey, to
He
be able to walk
right in and he added to the conversation.
and to walk with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And even if it's just to say hello and hi, great, awesome.
And
Let's
your
say,
takeaways, like you might have a thought to add. It's a continued conversation.
Yeah.
Like that's what's awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Like if you've listened to a conversation or an episode and you're like, man, I would really like to talk to them more about that, for not for our story, but maybe for what you're going through and how either what we said relates or how things maybe that we talked about helped or encouraged or challenged a thought maybe that you're processing. There's no right or wrong. It just is. And we would love to create that. So, so in the meantime, continue, but DM us, man, message us.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get to those messages. We're not always on social media like almost every other person is, but we do take from time to time a chance to look at it, to respond. Email us, info@armchairouthentic.com.
And we will respond by giving you a time that we'll be recording and a phone number that you can call within that time frame.
And we'll figure it out. And so thanks for going on this journey with us together. And hopefully this continues to bless you as much as it's blessing us.
Oh, it's going to be so much fun. See you guys next week.
On the next episode of Armchair Authentic,
everything's breaking news. And in the same way, we now have on our hands these devices that we're looking at all the time. It's all breaking news. Breaking news. I went to Chipotle today for lunch. Breaking news. I just played at this amazing conference.
Yeah.
Breaking news. Everything's breaking news. Well, I need to create my own breaking news.
And now
breaking
it's all
news.
AI breaking.
Bam.
Now it's all AI breaking news,
Well,
which
now
is so
that's
fake and
you
phony.
have to decipher.
Yeah.
Was that even real now versus was that AI? Because it looks so real.
I have to go into Google and get 3 pages deep sometimes to find out that was unreal.
Yeah, I'm looking for a sixth finger on somebody to show that it's AI.
Yeah. It's getting ridiculous.
Wow, that tiger just ate that guy. Oh, how did he do that? Then he has a third foot coming out of his stomach. It's like, that's probably AI.
Yeah. We cannot wait until that conversation. But until then, we hope to stay connected with you throughout the week on social media, on Facebook, Instagram, or even X. DM us, message us, email us at info@armchairauthentic.com, and let's continue the conversation. So until then, God bless, stay safe, and we'll see you soon for another conversation with your friends, Rhett and Justin, right here at Armchair Authentic.